Welcome!
Hello,
Hi!
guys.
Coming to you live from Bologna.
Oh, yeah, it's like a calling
Radio
no,
show.
radio show. Yeah.
I don't know why I
Um,
did that. I suppose I was thinking radio show, so.
and then there's
Anyway,
the
welcome to the stream, guys. It's going to be a very fantastic stream today because it's Aaron and it's
other side.
Aaron and it's
Jess.
yes. Fantastic. Do you want to introduce yourself, Jess?
I would love to. And this
This
is
way.
actually mine and Aaron's first webinar together, which
Exactly.
is so exciting. My name is Jess. I'm going to go backwards because I'm bored of starting from the start. So I currently live in Bologna and I work at Bologna Miele with Aaron. I moved here 1 year and 8 months ago. And
Wow.
I know, God. Before
Feels
that,
like yesterday.
I just like yesterday, I stepped off the plane. Before that, I moved.
Start your Italian adventure.
I lived in the north of England in a city called Leeds, where I stayed for 3 years. And before that, I lived and grew up in London.
Nice. And in Leeds, they say scone or scone? Oh dear. Anyway, my name is Aaron. Let's move backwards again as well. I've been living in Bologna for 4 years, working at my English school for 2.5 years. Before that, I worked with children. I did summer camps. And I lived for most of my life in a small town in the north of Italy, in Lombardy. And I was born in Cork, Ireland. That's my story. So please introduce yourselves in the comments and tell us something we don't know about you. So something special, something interesting about you, an interesting fact. Have you thought of something, Jess?
I can't think of anything right now.
I'm trying to think of something as well. Okay, I'm going to do my usual one, which is I played the trumpet for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I started when I was only about maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I played it until the end of high school, more or less. So
did your face go very red whenever you played the trumpet?
No. Well, certain times, yes. It depends on the type of notes that you're playing. So the higher the notes are, the more difficult it is to play them. So you need to kind of strain yourself more. But the interesting thing about playing the trumpet is that, like a lot of people think it's in the mouth, but it's not. It's about your diaphragm. It's about controlling your breathing, and you're pushing more with your diaphragm than you are with your actual lips.
Well,
and that's actually how you make the different notes. Sorry, I'm getting lost on a tangent here. Go ahead.
Trumpet playing. Maybe I will go and buy a trumpet and learn how to play. That will really upset
Now, exactly. This is the reason why I stopped. It's because I moved to Bologna in an apartment. It's not ideal to be playing the trumpet. Thanks for the demonstration, Jess.
You're welcome.
Anyway, go ahead.
I played the violin, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For 3 years. And it didn't go very well.
Why?
It sounded like cats were dying most of the time.
Oh dear. Well, that's an interesting fact. I play the violin as if cats were dying.
Yeah. I think my mum was very, very happy when I decided that I was no longer going to play the violin.
We have a comment from Pierangela. Do you want to read it, Jess?
Hello. I'm born in Florence, where I live and work. Lovely. Very nice.
I would say I was born, because it's a past passive. Excellent.
Spagna. I live in Rome, where I work, but I'm from a small village near Caserta.
Caserta.
Where is that?
I think it's near Naples, if I remember correctly.
Sorry.
Very, very nice, very interesting. So tell us something we don't know about you, something interesting, something strange. I don't know.
What else can I share?
We'll see. We've got a message from Chiara. I currently live in Rome, but I'm from the south of Italy. Excellent. Tell us where in the south of Italy. Exactly.
Yeah.
And very good use of currently. Yes, at the moment, currently. And Veronica says,
hi, my name is Veronica, and I'm a nutritionist.
That's pretty interesting.
I need a nutritionist right now. Anyway, I was born in Italy, specifically, I would say, we don't even need to say anything. We can just say in Livorno, but it's up to you. And I grew up there too. Now I'm working as a freelance nutritionist. That's so cool. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a good skill to have as a person, to be a nutritionist. Like they're needed, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I would really appreciate some help right now.
DM me your number. No.
Sliding into the DMs.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, great. Please tell us something interesting about yourselves. Sorry, go ahead. You have something to say.
I remember when I was born, I was born with like a layer of like hair on my body, like an animal, like a little monkey. And then like in my first 3 days of life, all the hair like fell off.
But like even on like your shoulders, your back.
Yeah, all like my ears, down the back of my neck, here, my back.
That's crazy. Really?
Little monkey. And it's so funny because my mum is very fair. So my mum has blonde hair. She's very, I don't know, English looking. And then there was
me. Have dark hair.
Yeah. And then there was just this little ball of hair.
A little dark monkey.
There's a fact about me that you didn't know.
Yeah, definitely. That's an interesting one. Elisa's here as well. Welcome, Elisa. Hi, guys. I was born in a small town near Milan where I currently live. Remember that the adverb we use for at the moment is currently. This is a false friend, unfortunately, in English. Actually is when you say in reality. Yeah. Hello, teachers. Go ahead.
I'm Andrea from Bologna, and I don't, if you know. Okay, I don't know if you know. We need another no in there. I don't know if you know, but I'm an amateur violin player.
Nice. As we can see from your profile picture.
Violin far better than I did when I was a child.
Does it sound like cats are dying when you play? This is the important thing we want to know.
Chiara, so cute, Jess.
Very cute. Let me think. Well, when I was trying to think of baby stories for me as well, but when I was a baby, I used to cry a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot, like continuously. And the only thing that would shut me up was honey.
Really?
Or a drive in the car, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that means you're Winnie the
Pooh! Exactly. That's the only logical explanation.
Oh, yay! That's made me so happy. From now on, I'm going to call you Winnie the Pooh. For those of you who don't know, Winnie the Pooh, I grew up reading Winnie the Pooh books.
Oh, me too. Me too.
It's so part of my childhood. And now I find myself always using Winnie the Pooh quotes because they're so great.
Exactly.
Love and friendship and happiness, and it just makes life so simple. If
it
honestly,
is a great story.
Day, if you're ever feeling like the world is difficult and friends and it's love and it's difficult, just go and read some Winnie the Pooh. It changes. Obviously, it changes
in
my
English,
life.
Of course. In English.
In English.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great for learners. We have another comment from a certain Joanna.
Oh, who's this?
I don't know.
Creature.
I'm Joanna. I'm from Cape Town, and I like collecting scarves. Interesting. So tell us, Joanna, how many scarves do you have in your collection?
And everyone else, please tell us some things about yourself, some interesting facts maybe that we wouldn't know. Anything that you'd like to share. So Joanna, a teacher at our Bologna Miele school, collects scarves. I did not know this about her.
I didn't know this either.
I'm trying to think of something else.
I'm trying to think, have I seen Joanna with lots of different scarves? But I don't think I paid that much attention.
She doesn't really wear scarves that often.
Exactly, that's what I thought as well.
Maybe she just has them all like in a box.
Oh my God, she has 34.
Scarves. Wow. Do you collect anything, Karen?
Do I collect anything? I'm trying to. Well, not really, but there must be something that I collect. No, not really. I'm trying to think. Do you collect anything, Jess?
No. I don't.
Well, I used to collect something, but I'll talk about it later. That there's a question in the in the focus about it. Right, let's move on to our focus at this point. Oh, I have another comment from Joanna. I have lots of lighter material scarves for spring.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
All 34 of them. Right, let's have a look at our focus today. It's called Hobbies. And in this focus activity, Jess, do you mind reading?
In this focus activity, describing a hobby, present perfect continuous, for and since.
Exactly. So first, we have a few questions that we would like to ask you. So please feel free to answer in the comments. We have number one, what is your current at the moment, current hobby? When did you decide to take it up?
Number two, do you tend to start a lot of hobbies but get bored quickly?
Number three, are there any activities you used to do but don't do anymore? Why did you stop?
Number four, are you an adrenaline junkie?
Yes. Oh, bye, Joanna.
Thanks.
So, can we explain adrenaline junkie?
Yes. Somebody who likes to do exciting and extreme sports that make you feel nervous so that your heart pumps and the blood is rushing around your body. Someone who is addicted to these thrill-seeking activities.
Ooh, thrill-seeking.
Thrill.
That's a good word as well. Thrill-seeking. Okay. Are you an adrenaline junkie, Jess?
I am.
Yeah?
I went skiing for the first time this year. Never been before. I've never even seen a ski resort. Like, it was totally new for me. And on my fourth day, I was on the red slope and I was going so fast down. Like, my friends were so scared. And afterwards, my friend Lorenzo, he stopped me to have a really serious conversation. And I was like, I felt like I was a little kid being told off. Like, you just go too fast. And I'm like, but I like going fast. He's like, yeah, but it's dangerous. Like, okay.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. I really I love being on the back of motorbikes, going very quickly. I want to do more fast adrenaline things in my life.
Nice. I didn't react at the beginning because I've never heard you doing anything too extreme, but now that you mentioned, yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a lot of fun.
We went paragliding together, didn't we?
We did go paragliding together. Yes, it's true. That was a lot of fun. That was really good. I would like to try skydiving at least once in my life, but I wouldn't consider myself an adrenaline junkie. It's not like I go looking for these extreme sports or these things. If I'm offered the opportunity to do it, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But
I think it's also part of my because I spent my childhood competing in competitions and performing, and these things are naturally, they give you a lot of energy, like nervous energy, and so I think that adds to the thrill of them becoming maybe more of an adrenaline junkie.
I'm sorry, I started laughing because I saw this comment.
I want to know about your love for dangerous activities. That is my mother.
Yeah, I imagined it was. That's why I started laughing.
Hey, Mom. I'm an angel,
So,
don't worry.
when she says fast, she means moderately faster than the others on
I mean,
the ski slope.
the maximum of the speed limit.
Exactly. All within laws, all within lawful activity. We have also a comment from Chiara. When I was a child, I loved to collect postcards, and I asked everyone to bring me or send me a postcard from their travels. Very
Oh,
nice.
so lovely.
That's really nice, because then you have all of these postcards and you can hang them up, and it's really cool decoration as well.
It is.
And I like how Joanna also recognized your mum.
My mum's going to be famous soon on these.
Oh, she is, definitely.
So now we've explained what an adrenaline junkie is, let's have a look at question 1. So I'm going to ask Aaron, and while he is answering, please type away in the comments and let us know. So, what is your current hobby? When did you decide to take it up?
So at the moment, I'm playing a lot of video games. I've been playing them since I was about maybe 10, 12 years old. At the moment, I especially like playing with friends because, it gives you more of a community feeling and you get to be close to your friends. And I'm also making a 3D puzzle.
So cool.
So I know, right? So it's a model of, I don't have it here, I forgot to pick it up, but it's in the other room. Anyway, it's a model of C-3PO from Star Wars, and you make it by bending very small pieces of metal and putting them together. So it'll end up being like a little figurine.
Awesome. Very cool.
And we have a comment from Veronica. Do you want to read it?
My current hobby is reading books. I decided to take it up in the quarantine when the quarantine started. Sorry, I was trying to choose my own preposition. When the quarantine started.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. And we have one from Pirandra. My hobbies are meditation and reading, because it's the activity, reading books about mindfulness. Okay. I don't like extreme sports, but I like quiet places and quiet moments.
Oh, lovely.
Very nice. Very nice answer. And what are your current hobbies, Jess? Did you already answer this question?
It kind of checked. I'm terrible at sticking. Actually, my current hobby is studying. Is studying a hobby? Yeah.
It depends. If it's not your job, then I suppose it is your hobby.
Yeah, well, I'm currently studying Italian a lot. This is the one thing that I've been trying to stick with during the quarantine. A little bit every day. Some days I do quite a lot, and if there's a day that I really just don't want to, I always make sure I do just a little bit, even if it's just reading over notes from the day before. So I guess that. Well done, Jess.
Well done, Jess. Well done.
I at the start of the first day of quarantine, I went to the supermarket and I bought notepads and pencils. I was like, I'm going to draw every day. It lasted for the first 2 days, and I haven't drawn a single picture since.
Do you feel like you don't have the inspiration for it, or?
Yeah, I get really excited about hobbies, and then I do it, and then it's like I've fulfilled my need, and then I'm like, okay, I'll leave that again.
No. So for number 2, I imagine the answer is yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. I do. I start hobbies and I spend so many hours and I get so passionate about it, and then it's gone. It's almost like as soon as I take a break,
that's it. It's gone.
Oh, actually, no, my mum's watching. I can't say it.
Now I'm curious even more about what you were about to say. That you can't say. Oh dear.
Not with real money, don't worry. But I found a poker game app, so I started playing poker. But it's not one involving money.
Okay, it's not involving money. That's good. That's good. Stefania says, I love the theatre, and for 3 years, I attended maybe a theatre workshop, but now I stopped.
I attended or I participated.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were the one providing the workshop, you can say I provided a theatre workshop.
Nice. You have experience in the theatre as well, don't you, Jess?
I do. My background is actually in theatre. Yeah, it's very nice.
And Elisa says, I love yoga. I practice it whenever I need, in quarantine many times a day. But I started to do it 3 years ago. Very nice. Good answer.
Wonderful. Good. Yeah, I was practicing yoga too in this quarantine. Again, I stopped.
One of the many hobbies that started and stopped.
Yeah.
So tell us more about your hobbies that you started in the past and don't do anymore. So for question 3, why did you stop? What are some past hobbies, maybe even when you were children, or just maybe last year, or like Jess, yesterday? Anyway, so please tell us in the comments.
I tell you what I am going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to a very big supermarket not far from my home. I'm going to buy the whole supermarket. No, I'm going to go there and I will buy Lego. I really
Oh, yes.
So I might turn like my whole apartment into like a Lego land.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Because like this is what some people don't understand this, but Legos are great even if you're an adult because they're basically a 3D puzzle.
It's amazing.
I'm just going to leave this here.
For the rest of
it. Put it as a permanent banner just to remind you for the rest of the focus. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, so we've also done some Lego. I've also done some Lego sets. One was before the quarantine. Sophia bought me a Lego set for Christmas, and then her dad, I think, sent one over during the quarantine. It was the entire set of the Friends TV show.
That's so cool.
We finished it in a weekend, but it was really cool.
I'm really hoping that I'll be able to find some Harry Potter Lego.
Ooh,
when
nice.
I was a child, I used to have so much Harry Potter Lego, but it has all been sold.
I had, I think, the Harry Potter Lego castle. Amazing. So much fun. So much fun. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, so let's talk about past hobbies that you used to do and not do anymore. Jess?
I'm thinking.
Oh, I thought you froze. Elisa says, no, my hobbies are almost endless for me, except those that were born in quarantine, like making cakes. Remember that like is already a preposition to compare. You don't need another one. So like making cakes. I would say in general, baking. Baking is when you make something in the oven. I would write the explanation, but for some reason YouTube doesn't like it, so I can't write the explanation. I've tried it many times before.
What hobbies I used to do? I used to do horse riding.
Oh, nice! I used to do that too. When you were growing up, or recently?
When I was growing up, I went recently actually, just as a one-off in the summer. Not recently, but. And it was amazing. I haven't done it in years, but I was able to remember.
Nice. I did horse riding for a couple of years when I was growing up. I enjoyed it a lot. But I don't know. The reason why I stopped was because it wasn't like just because the person that taught me didn't have fixed times. Because he was a firefighter, like he was doing it as a hobby as well, you know. So the times kept changing every week, so we had to reschedule it every week for the week after. So without having a fixed date every week, it just I don't know, I just lost it at some point.
Did it fizzle out? That's a nice
It did. It kind of did. Let's see if I can.
Something that fizzles out, it means it just slowly ends. It's like it dissolves. Yeah, that's the same with me. I fell off the horse once. I had quite a nasty accident. Since when I was a child. So since I was a child, my only hobby was dance. I practiced classical and modern dance for 12 years. Then when I understood that I was not going to be a dancer, I stopped it. No, Veronica, that makes me feel sad. You can still dance, even if you're not going to be a professional dancer. So I suggest you go back to your dancing. Take a class.
I agree.
You'll probably enjoy it so much, and especially now there's no pressure. It's like I'm speaking to myself.
Exactly. And I had an interesting hobby growing up, which was I made little tin soldiers.
That's cool.
Because there was a place a couple of hours away from my grandparents' house where they made molds for them, and they sold you also all of the materials you needed. And yeah, it was really fun. Like, you would take the metal, you'd melt it, you'd pour it into the mold, take the little tin soldier out of the mold, and then you'd have to prime it and paint it.
This makes so much sense as to why now you like building 3D models and 3D models and things.
I know, right? But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a little bit expensive for my parents, especially, but still, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, and I also used to collect stamps. But my stamp collection was in Ireland, so I would always continue it when I went back there. It was something that my grandpa and I did together. But nice. After a while, well, no one sent any post anymore, so...
The birth of social media.
Yeah, exactly. No one sent any letters anymore, so I didn't really continue it. It was like fewer and fewer stamps to collect.
I remember there was one point in my childhood, my poor mum must have been exhausted, because it was like I did a physical activity every day of the week. I don't know, I can't... Actually, it was like Tuesdays was swimming, Wednesdays I went horse riding, another day I did violin, and then another day I was dancing, and then I was dancing again at the weekend. Oh, a lot of things.
So, tell us what it was like in the comments.
How was that for you, Mum? Also, oh no, I tell you what I did used to do as a child. I wouldn't collect things or anything, but I would always put on plays, like performances that my mum would just have to sit and endure all of these. Well done, Jessie. Yeah, good job. You're great.
And did you produce them? And
yeah, yes, all of them. Sometimes with friends. I would do like dramatic things on the sofa, like dancing across the sofa. Actually, I remember my mum called me an elephant once because I was...
Oh, that's wonderful. And thank you very much. She actually managed to write an explanation of baking, because I've tried rewording it 2, 3, 4 times. I remember in another webinar, but YouTube just doesn't accept the comment for some reason. But yes, it is cooking food with dry heat without direct exposure to a flame, typically in an oven. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Good job.
And Elisa, do you want to read her comment?
I used to collect magnets of visited places. I stopped it because there is not much. Wow, I'm struggling to talk today. I stopped it because there is not place on my fridge. So we could say because there is no more space.
Yeah, or there isn't enough space.
There isn't
enough space on my fridge.
Honestly, I think the birds... Okay, I have a bird's nest on my roof, and they are getting so loud, and I can hear them scratching away, and I think I may be attacked by some birds during one of these webinars.
That would be funny to watch. Very entertaining. Your mum says I watched many performances.
They were good though, right?
Tell us in the comments. Right, we have some more activities here on the screen. We need to put them into the right category. We have Adrenaline Junkie, Outdoorsy, leisure, and sports. So don't worry if you think that one of these activities goes in more than one category, because they do. So tell us in the comments, do you know all of these activities, and what category would you put them in?
So,
do you want to read them, Jess?
Hunting,
Oh, sorry.
skydiving, rowing, fishing, collecting, kayaking, gardening, bowling, paddleboarding, bungee jumping, windsurfing, knitting, hiking, paragliding, fencing, and rock climbing.
Excellent.
Go rock climbing.
Sorry?
I want to go rock climbing. I've done a little bit and I really like it. And it's the pull, and it's good for your body and your arms, and it's fun. You got to use your brain, but you're also being physical. Yeah, rock climbing.
Yeah, I tried bouldering a few months ago, which is basically similar to rock climbing but indoor. Which is rock climbing indoors. A lot of fun, and it's great because you can obviously all of the floors are padded, so as you're climbing up, even if you slip or fall, it doesn't matter. You just fall onto the pads at on the floor, so you can't really hurt yourself. So it's great.
I think there's a bird inside my cupboard. It's so scary. But like, because I'm seeing there are pipes coming down. I don't know if the birds are in the pipes or something.
Is there anyone you can call about the birds?
No, I don't know. Who do you call about birds?
I suppose you call the administrator of the building about it, and they'll deal with it.
They'll deal with it. I mean, at least I'm not alone in this quarantine anymore.
You have a bird friend.
I have bird friends.
Okay, so Elisa has a guess. She says hunting outdoorsy. Yeah, I would say so.
I agree.
Let's see in the activity. Yeah, definitely. Outdoorsy is just something that you do when you're outdoors. So yeah, definitely hunting. I've never particularly liked hunting. I've never tried it, and I don't think I will ever try. Just the idea of shooting animals really annoys me.
Yeah, it's the part of British culture that I hate.
Do you think it's really prevalent in Britain?
Yeah, the old hunting that they used to do with foxes and awful with the dog chases. I mean, it should be illegal. I think it was illegal, and then it was illegal, and they've made it legal again, or something crazy, and it's just disgusting. Anyway.
I agree. I'm not sure what Pirangela means here. Are you putting in categories, or are you? Oh, maybe she finished the hunting, skydiving, and fishing are sports. I don't know about hunting as a sport. I don't think it would be classified as a sport. But fishing, I think, is considered a sport. You have competitions as well, fishing competitions and tournaments, and so I suppose you could consider fishing also a sport if you wanted. But I would definitely put it into the leisure category, because it's something that people do. It's something relaxing. It's something. I used to do that with my dad. We used to go fishing by the river. And Veronica asks, what is paddleboarding?
Paddleboarding there's another name for it, I believe. I've forgotten what the name is. But it's when you stand on it looks like a surfboard, but it's not a surfboard. But it looks like a surfboard. In the ocean, in the sea, usually, with a stick, and you balance yourself, and it's very nice. It's very relaxing. But you actually have to use a lot of your abdominal muscles to keep still, to not fall in, basically. It's very, very fun. And it's a very good way to tan as well, because the sun reflects off the water. and it bounces onto your skin, so you get a beautiful glow.
Interesting.
Hot tanning tip.
So, what category would you put skydiving in?
Skydiving, I would put. Let me know, Veronica, if that's clear about paddleboarding. And skydiving, I would put adrenaline junkie.
Adrenaline junkie. Okay, definitely. No, hunting is our nascondino, so our goal is to search people and to search things. No, hunting is when you go into the forest or into nature with a gun and you shoot animals. So you kill animals. What you're thinking of is a game, and it's called hide and seek. Hide and seek. This is the game you're thinking of. No, hunting is when you shoot and kill animals. In our countryside, maybe you'd hunt maybe hare, or I know that in Abruzzo they hunt boar. What else do you hunt? I don't know.
I know in England they hunt pheasants.
Oh yeah, pheasants. Yes, they hunt pheasants here as well. Anyway, rowing. What category would you put this under?
I would say it's a sport.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's big in England, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge in England, rowing.
Especially colleges and universities organize these rowing competitions, I seem to remember, right?
I don't know, like the fancy schools do that.
The expensive schools. I can definitely hear a bird in the background.
I'm not joking, it's like in my cupboard or in my pipe. It's right there. But there's loads of them. Anyway.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent.
Rowing is really hard. It takes so much strength. It's exhausting. Anyway.
I met, well, there was someone talking about his daughter once. It was a friend of my dad's, and his daughter is like in a rowing team. You have obviously the people rowing, and then you have one person at the front or at the back of. No, I think she was at the front. I can't remember if it's the front or the back of the boat, and she basically motivates and keeps the rhythm.
Yeah, that's isn't it?
And it's an interesting position to have, you know. And yeah, he was telling me about this this sport. Let's move on to fishing. As I said, I would put fishing either as leisure or you can have it as a sport. This focus puts it in outdoorsy, so it could be any of these really. Collecting, what would you put this under, Jess?
Leisure.
Definitely leisure. Kayaking, I would say it's outdoorsy. I suppose it can also be a sport, maybe.
I think it's also slightly adrenaline junkie as well.
Depending on where you do it, yeah.
Yeah, because like it can be really dangerous as well, kayaking.
I suppose rafting is more dangerous, or that would be
rafting. Because kayaking is in the ocean, actually. Never mind.
I don't know. It depends where you go kayaking, I suppose. Gardening, this is definitely leisure, I would say. Tell us, do you have a garden? Do you like gardening? Tell us in the comments. Do you like gardening, Jess?
No.
Excellent.
In the garden, but I don't like the gardening part.
Okay. Let's move on to bowling. What would you put this under?
Bowling leisure.
I'd put it under leisure as well. Some people do it almost professionally, but I don't think you can classify it as a sport. I am absolutely terrible at bowling, but I love it. Elisa says it's a sport. I don't know. I've never seen a competition of bowling, but some people do it professionally. So I don't know.
Famous rowing race between Oxford and Cambridge. See, I told you, it's the fancy schools. University each year held on the Thames. Yeah, they race on the River Thames. Thanks, Mum.
Excellent. Oh, and Roberto says bless you because you sneezed earlier.
Thank you. I was wondering that Aaron didn't say bless you, and I thought that was quite rude of Aaron. Thank you so much, Roberto. No,
Yes, Roberto, you were much more polite than I was. Well done. This is the. Sorry, go ahead.
nothing. I'm just saying I had 2 sneezes, and you didn't bless you.
Well, bless you. I'll say it now. Anyway, well done. This is the expression we use after someone sneezes. So well done. Gardening is leisure. Excellent. Running is a sport. So where are we now? Boiling. Paddleboarding, as we said, I would say is outdoorsy maybe, or a sport even. I've never seen a sport, but I would put it in outdoorsy. Yeah. Bungee jumping.
Adrenaline.
Definitely. Bungee jumping scares me. I don't think I would ever do bungee jumping.
I think the only thing that scares me about it is the impact it would have on my spine. Like, I'm so paranoid about my back and like my bones that I just feel like that boom would be really bad. I'd probably like put something out of place, you know? But apart from the physical fear that I injure myself, I'm not scared of doing that.
Because like this will sound strange, but to me, bungee jumping seems scarier than skydiving.
Really?
Yeah, just because you get so close to the ground with bungee jumping, you know,
Yeah,
while
wrong. Oh God, no.
while with skydiving, I mean, you do touch the ground, but it's you've already opened your parachute at that point, you know.
And you're landing safely, but with bungee jumping, imagine it went wrong and it didn't bounce back and you just smacked to the ground. Bye.
Exactly. Anyway, Roberta says good morning. Don't worry. Bungee jumping, adrenaline junkie. I'll never do it. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever. Bless you. I don't think I'll ever do it either.
Oh goodness. I think I have hay fever.
It's strange. I still haven't felt it, and I usually get hay fever as well. But maybe
like I don't get it in my life. I think I maybe had symptoms once in my entire life, and now suddenly I'm like. Anyway.
We moved on to windsurfing. I put it under sports. And we have knitting as well. Where would you put knitting?
For those of you who don't know, this comes up a lot in my lessons. Knitting is stereotypically what your grandmother would do. Knitting a jumper. You knit a scarf, a jumper, a blanket.
Exactly. It's when you make something with wool. So yeah, knitting I would put under leisure, definitely. Stereotypically it's your grandma, but in my family it's actually my mum. My mum does a lot of, or used to do a lot of knitting. Not quite sure nowadays if she does or not.
I would quite like to knit. I hope it's just allergy. Yeah, me too.
Pierangela asks, what is the meaning of fencing? Very good question. Fencing is a sport, and I know that Italians are very good at this. I always remember at the Olympics, Italians always win a lot of medals in fencing.
Doesn't it originally come from France as a game?
Maybe. I have no idea. But yeah, it's a sport and you use swords. I don't know what they're called exactly, the swords they use in fencing, but you're fighting with someone. And if you touch the other person, then you get the point or you win the round. I'm not sure exactly how it works.
Yeah, you win points by making contact with your opponent. The swords, they're very bendy. So when you hit the chest, it bends. It's not like you're actually going to. I know, maybe. Oh wait. Traditionally, maybe it's traditionally from with the Italian school, and the French school later, refining the Italian system. So it did actually come from
Italy originally.
But then I think the French took it and.
Yes, Roberto, it is the sport with the sword. Exactly. And apparently, technically, the sword is called a foil.
Thanks. Nice.
I imagine that's what she's referring to.
Yeah, she's coming out with all the info.
All the info, yeah. So we have hiking. So very important. This is something I always explain in my lessons. Hiking is when you go walking in the mountains. Okay, this is the activity when you just go out for a walk, maybe for a day. You go up in the morning, come back in the evening. We call this hiking. A lot of Italians like to use the word trekking, but in reality, we use hiking a lot more. Trekking is usually something you use when it's for many different days, and it's something a lot more
Organized.
planned.
Maybe you have things for camping, or you've organized places to stay. So it would be maybe you could do a 10-day trek across a
mountain bridge. I don't know.
Yeah, what is that called? What, a mountain ridge or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, but for example, I remember someone telling me that there's a trek you can do between Siena and Rome, I think it's called. It is, or maybe there's one between Bologna and Florence. And obviously, you walk from Bologna to Florence or from Siena to Roma, and over maybe 2 weeks or 3-4 days, something like this. And that's a trek, I would say.
I'm pretty sure there's also a trek from Bologna to Florence.
I think so, yeah.
Like a nice one through Tuscany.
Apparently. Chiara says, my grandma taught me to knit in order to make some dresses for my Barbie dolls. That's so sweet.
That's really nice.
That's really nice.
Everybody, we are approaching our last 4 minutes of the webinar. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask.
Let's just quickly fill in the last few ones. We had hiking, so it's an outdoorsy activity. Paragliding is what we did together, and it's definitely adrenaline junkie. Very much so. This is when you have a parachute and you run off a mountain, basically, or a very tall hill. And then we have rock climbing. Fencing obviously is a sport. It's in the Olympics, so and rock climbing as well for adrenaline junkie.
Great stuff.
Any of these you would like to try, Jess?
Skydiving. I want to do paragliding again because it's so fun. Rock climbing, kayaking, and hiking, obviously.
Nice.
I'd like to try knitting, rowing again, paddle boarding again. I'd love to do windsurfing.
But only for 2 days, and then change.
Only for 2 days, and then I change, yeah.
Tell us in the comments which of these hobbies you would like to try as well, if you haven't already.
Aaron.
I definitely want to try skydiving at least once in my life. I will never do bungee jumping, I don't think. I'd love to do paragliding again. I really enjoyed it. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I'd love to do kayaking again. I have tried kayaking before, and it's a lot of fun. Why not? I'm interested in fencing. I don't know anything about it. I'd like to try it out. Why not? I don't know if I'd really get into it and become I don't think it'd become my main hobby or anything, but I'd like to try it. I imagine it's quite interesting as a sport. Okay, let's review some of the stuff we saw during the lesson. We had a type of rock climbing, but you do it indoors. It's called bouldering. You had this excellent expression, Jess.
Fizzle out when something ends slowly, like it's dissolving away.
Exactly. A synonym of adrenaline junkie. Do you remember it?
Thrill seeking. Oh yeah, thrill seeking.
Exactly, or thrill seeker if you're talking about the person. And I was looking for your mum's comment because it had an excellent explanation. And here we go. Baking is when you cook something in the oven. It's usually you could bake bread or bake cake or I don't know, muffins.
Good. Or scones. Scones.
Scones. Anyway, Piolangela says, I tried fishing some years ago, but it was very boring. Yeah, I know.
I think I would do the same.
Lisa says, I'd like to try paragliding on the sea. Wow. And I love kayaking. Wonderful. So that's the end of our focus, our end of our webinar. Thank you very much for joining us and interacting with us. By the way, it's skydiving, not parachuting, skydiving. Thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Bye, guys.